Hey friends, how you doing? It is 0 days to expiration, and this is episode number 10 of season 2. And it is Tuesday, January 17th. This is the final hour of the market. Today, I didn't put on a trade because let me tell you a little bit about premium collection and putting on butterflies. Now, the butterfly, which is our primary trade of choice, is what one would term benefiting in a Vega negative environment. What that means is that when volatility is dropping, the butterfly benefits, but that's assuming that you are actually in the butterfly. So you already have established a position, you're sitting in there in the profit tent, and volatility is dropping down, and that volatility dropping is causing the premium to decay. And because you're inside the butterfly, that decaying premium is benefiting you. However, if you're trying to get into the butterfly and Vega is negative or volatility is dropping, it's very difficult to get a good price on that fly because, well, with volatility dropping, premium and the cost of those spreads is getting more expensive. So getting the kind of risk to reward that you want becomes a challenge. Sometimes so much so that it's just not worth doing it, so you don't. And that is exactly the situation this morning. So this morning, volatility was dropping, and I guess for a brief moment it was also rising, but then now it's dropping some more. But that was only a very brief moment. But by that time, it was too late anyways, so no trade today. However, I had the brilliant idea of potentially putting on... Now, let me explain. In a zero DTE environment, what are the nuances to this? If you want to put a trade on in the morning, volatility rising is the ideal situation. And in most cases, in a market, the morning time is a good time to put on such a trade because volatility is typically higher in the morning in the market. And then it starts to wane in the afternoon hours. And then as you get to the final hour, like right now, it starts to go up again. But here's the caveat. When you read a book on butterflies and it's telling you that it's volatility or Vega negative, meaning that it benefits from being in it while volatility is coming down, they're usually speaking in the context of maybe a monthly option that you're in, and maybe you're 30 or 40 days out. On a zero DTE day, after you get beyond the afternoon, noontime, it doesn't matter if volatility is going up or going down because time is the overriding factor. You only have another couple of hours left in the market. And so whether volatility is going up or going down, it doesn't matter. But in the beginning part of the day, it does. So what I'm going to propose is that we look at taking a trade in this final hour, and we're going to use a rather unique technique. I think somebody called it the Stegosaurus pattern. Not the Batman, but the Stegosaurus. And we'll see if we can put that on. But it's similar to the Batman, but you put on two really narrow flies, or maybe even three, and, give that a go. Let's see here. I need to open up the comment window. See who we have on. A new splash. Well, it's not really a new splash screen. I've been testing it out for the past few episodes. Last couple of episodes, I wasn't able to do it because I had to be over there in the billiard parlor because the studio here was being fixed. Oh, see, I'm showing everything's disheveled back there. All right, pay no attention to the back wall. We have Bob back there. He's looking for a good beating. I'm normally standing up, but taking it easy today. So we're going to look into what is called Stegosaurus. It's not a good name for it. It's just not a good name. We'll call it something else, but let me see if this is even in play. How about Tesla today? Man, that looks great. Tesla is blowing it. For all those naysayers out there about Tesla, that want to compare it to just another auto company, like Nobel laureate Paul Krugman, the smartest dumbass on the face of the planet. I have never met Paul Krugman, but let me tell you this. I don't understand how that man, became a Nobel laureate. He's consistently wrong. Consistently. Maybe he was right when, I don't know, for whatever he did for the Nobel Prize. That's all one thing. But man, I have not seen a single interview with him, a single bit of analysis in the past 20 years where he's made any sense whatsoever. And he was talking about Tesla, trying to chide in as if he was some sort of expert. He's supposed to be an economic expert, but he don't know shit about Tesla, calling it just another auto company. Anyways, Tesla is just off the hook. Off the hook. Today it is up. How much is it up today? Let's see. I'll tell you in a second. Let's take a look at Tesla. So this is a daily chart of Tesla. This line that I have drawn here, and down below I have a linear regression slope oscillator. And what I'm showing here really is that there's a huge divergence. So here we have an upslope in the linear regression slope oscillator. And then in price, we have a massive downslope. And so what this is really showing, and you can actually see there was also another here, but this is very clear. This is trending up a little bit, and this is trending down super strong. That's a positive divergence. And then since then, Tesla's been taking off, and now it's gapped up, and it's up big. Let's see, how much is it up today? It is up almost 7% today. So I think that we're going to see Tesla testing this 200 area right around here, 196 very soon. It's going to take a little bit. It's got a lot of stair stepping to do here, but I think that's where we're going to see it, testing a breakout at this level right here. The fact is that Tesla, I know that this really doesn't have anything to do with zero DTE. You got to talk about the stories of our times now. And between SpaceX and Tesla and their prowess in terms of manufacturing and the moves that they pulled in basically in defiance of the U.S. government trying to snub them with their tax relief, their IRA tax relief thing. Basically, they made sure that Tesla's cars were in a category that made them not available for the tax break, the $7,500 tax break. As a testament to the pricing power that Tesla has and the enormous amount of margin that they have, they cut their prices drastically. So it brought them down to the next level. So they no longer had to be considered an SUV. They could be, excuse me, they could be considered in a different class. And now they're qualified for the tax break. So not only did Elon Musk drop the price on Teslas, like on the Model Y, I think $10,000 or $13,000. On top of that, you get the $7,500 tax break. Now, the U.S. government, they hate Tesla. I should say that this administration hates Tesla. And they want to punish him. And they want to prop up their favorite government-controlled, dogs are going nuts, government-controlled auto company, like GM and Ford. Not so much Ford, but definitely GM. And they thought that by putting the screws to Tesla, they would be propping up the others. But the others are totally inept. They are just skating by with super thin margins. They can't compete with Tesla in terms of production or technology. Tesla's cars are by far the safest in the world. Highest safety ratings ever recorded, ever, on all their cars. And they're just killing it. And so now Elon Musk has basically pulled a 4D chess move and not only got around that IRA tax benefit, I don't remember what it stands for, but it's not about retirement account. It's something else. It stands for something else. Anyways, they got around that because they have pricing power and because they had enormous margins. They were able to cut their prices, which is going to spur, just that price cut alone is going to spur demand. But now they're eligible for that $7,500 tax credit on top of that. So in effect, the Model Y now has come down about $20,000. Wow. Imagine how many more people that are now in the market for a Tesla because it's $20,000 cheaper. Yep. Now, that's a company to watch, and that's a company that is going places. And recently, with their tests on SpaceX, with their new, what is the name of that rocket, that big giant thing? They tested that, and it was flawless. Their ability to put satellites up in the air, man, what is going on up there? Must be somebody delivering something to the house. Yeah, it's called Starship. That's it. Thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah, they are just totally off the hook. This past year, I think they produced, I don't know, was it 1.3 or 1.5 million? I don't know. Whatever it was, I think they're going to do over 2 million this year. I think it was 1.7 total. Yeah, they did a test run on the Starship, and they wanted to test it out to make sure that the base that gets them off the ground initially was all good. Now, one thing that Tesla does that NASA can't do is that they can reuse their booster rockets. That's crazy. And they've done something like, I don't know, 140 missions now where they've reused these booster rockets. Some of them are going on 15, 16 rounds, where NASA, they put something up, it's disposable. And it costs them a lot more. Tesla has got it going on. Now, besides that, the unspoken story about Tesla is their Tesla Power part of their company. It's not Tesla Solar. This is Tesla Power. And the margins that they're showing on there and the profit that they're making and the rate at which they're expanding is going to, I think it's going to eclipse their car company. Look out for metal stress. Uh-oh, Craig's a denier. Yeah, I think they've got it figured out. I trust Tesla more than I trust NASA, to tell you the truth. The other thing about Tesla, it used to be there were certain companies that talent would seek out to go work for. Tesla is that company now. Used to be the Apples and Microsoft and Netflix and Amazon and all those. Twitter, they don't want to work for them anymore. Twitter maybe now, sure. They want to work for Tesla because that's where things are happening. Tesla is run like a bunch of tiny little startups. And well, actually, all of the Musk companies are run that way. That type of operation, that type of philosophy, the agile mentality is going to bring them far. They are so far ahead of everybody else right now, there's just no way to catch up. And now with this new pricing, they've essentially blown away the competition and put a decade between them all. And so that's why, even though they cut prices massively over the weekend or Friday, whatever it was, that's why Tesla is still going up. No one is really worried about margin concerns because they have none. They have that kind of pricing power. They are consistently lowering prices on their cars, and they're going to keep on doing that. Soon they're going to have the Cybertruck that's going to come out. They'll probably produce maybe 40 or 50,000 of those this year. And now I think their Model 3 is priced in the mid 30s or low 30s. They'll come out with a sub $30,000 vehicle soon. Then it's game over. So if you're not invested in Tesla, this is the time to do it. Look where it is. Look where it is. I bought a whole bunch way down at the bottom, and I've been buying it all the way up. That thing is going to hit new highs. New highs. Absolutely. Really a marvel company. Anyways, this is all about zero DTE, isn't it? You have to point it out. You have to follow companies like this when they're on the precipice. And Tesla's already done fantastic things, but they're going to new heights despite all of the friction with the government and everybody else, and the idiot Nobel laureates that don't realize that Tesla is not just a car company. They are a technology company. They're a power company. They're an AI company. They are so much more than just an auto company. They are at the cutting edge of manufacturing. Nobody can touch them. And they've got the safest cars in the world. Man, if you had kids, why would you put them in any other car? I know that we all measure our risks and the amount that we can afford, but now there's no reason why you shouldn't be getting a Tesla to put your children into it. Did you see that story about that family that ran off of a cliff? Apparently, there's a backstory to that, which is really unbelievable. But they're in a Tesla, ran off of a cliff, 250 feet down, came crashing down. Everyone survived without really any injuries because they were in a Tesla. That would be certain death in any other car. Apparently, the father of that car was arrested for attempted murder. You just can't make shit like this up. Unbelievable. So anyways, back to zero DTE, but we're going to keep an eye on Tesla. We're also keeping an eye on gold. As you know, I've been saying buy gold ever since November. Here's November down here. All right. And here's gold up here. Gold's going to hit new highs. And I suspect that this is going to continue because right now, a lot of the foreign powers, there's going to be some big changes coming in the world very soon. Foreign powers are, well, somebody, we just don't know who, somebody is buying a lot of gold right now and driving that price up. I suspect that this same somebody already has a lot of gold, a lot more gold than the U.S. has. And the U.S., man, it's amazing that in one administration, they can take a vibrant country and basically turn it to shit. And that's what's happening. We're going to see the demise of our country. We're going to lose the status of the reserve dollar. We're going to lose a lot of things because we're taking our eye off the ball and following all this woke shit. I don't know if that will affect my YouTube monetization. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. But anyways, who wants to cheer on China and Russia? But they are going to eat our lunch. China, Russia, India, they're all colluding now. They're all going, and Saudi Arabia. Yep, it's not going to be good. Milo says, no secret that the BRICS countries are the future. And it didn't have to be that way, Milo. It really didn't. We were in prime condition to compete. But apparently, we don't want to compete. I guess that's the way it is. But at least we have Tesla, all right? At least we have Tesla and SpaceX. And we're all going to Mars. I can't wait to go to Mars. No, I'm not going to Mars. That's a one-way trip. All right, let's see. Do we have an opportunity going into the close here? So it's 3:30. I really thought that we were going to have sort of a move up here, but we're not. It doesn't look like we're moving up into the close. Let's see where Tesla's going. Let's zoom in on that. Look at Tesla just keeps on. And man, that's a pattern that's going to break up. Oh, holy crap. I'm so glad that I bought all those shares. All right. Now, what I was going to suggest is that we put on some butterflies. Now, we have the LVL here sitting at, what is this level right here? 40.09. And that represents pretty good support. I would think that putting a very narrow fly under the market and maybe one above the market, maybe just down under the market right now, because now it's starting to look kind of weak. It looks like we made this shot for the volume well up here where the liquidity was low and we could not push through. And this is starting to look bearish to me. This kind of continuation and now rolling over this time of the day. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, that's not looking good. I'm thinking we put a fly right here. What is that? I didn't want that. A really narrow fly right about here. Maybe 5 wide. 10. Yeah, it'd be like that. We could do a Batman and put one on either side. I don't know. Let's see how that will work out. Something like that. I really think that the bearish one is going to work out better. I don't know. Let's see. I wonder if I can open up Thinkorswim. We'll go back to the big head. Give it a talk. Let's see. I have Thinkorswim open on another computer here. Let's see what we can do. So if we put on a fly at 4,000, what does that give us for a risk to reward? No, I don't want that. What are you doing, Ernie? We want SPX. How come Thinkorswim never opened up over here? Yeah, I clicked on it, never opened up. All right, there it is. Let's see if we can get it going here. This is the ultimate in preparedness, huh? There was no trade going on today, so everything that we do is going to be off the cuff. Wow. Pricing on this is crazy. What happens if we go to 80? So if you center something at 39.80 and make it 5 wide, it'll cost you 15 cents. Do we have a shot? See now the market's starting to move up. I'm of the feeling that there really is no play today. We had that quick move up, came down, and then we've just been just doing nothing. That's a technical term. Yeah, I see no future in wasting our money. I can't even see putting on a Batman trade. It just doesn't look good. Maybe what we can do is, nah, I don't even want to do that. Some days you just have to write it off. What does volatility look like? Yeah. See, we temporarily went up and then came down. So volatility is under 20 now. And soon we may be outside of the Goldilocks zone. You may be wondering, what's the Goldilocks zone? Now, it's not so important what the level of volatility is, although it's somewhat important. It's more the direction that it's going in and what's the relative level of when you get into the trade versus when you are trying to get out. So, for example, if I were to, I'm just going to quit out of Thinkorswim. It's not doing anything here. Not doing me any good. So let's go over to the charts again. And so this is the VIX way down here. Over here in the lower left, that's life-sucking volatility. And anything below 17, we consider zombie land. And anything above 34, that's Operation Chaos. And these this zone back here is what I call the Goldilocks zone. So while you're in here, this is probably the ideal place to be for doing premium collection on 0 DTE between 17 and 34. It's okay going up. You still have opportunity. And going down is a little bit more difficult. You have to be much more choosy. I think Batmans go out of favor once we get down below 17. That's why I call it the line of demarcation. So no Batmans below there probably. Just directional trades, mostly up. Yeah, that's correct, Robro. We do not force a trade. If there's no trade, look, you have to have reverence for your money. Keep in mind that the money that you have, the money that you put to work here, that represents the value that you have put into the market, unless you stole the money or ripped it off your mom's pocketbook or something. Other than that, if you work for the money, then that represents your labor, your intellectual capital, depending on where you work. It represents you. And so if you're going to put it to work, then you have to take into consideration that that is you that you are putting to work. Not directly, that's It's the extension of you. You should have reverence for that money, right? So only put it to work on places where you think that you can have a fair chance. If you don't have a fair chance, then don't do it. Hold on to it. Cherish, revere that money. Because like I said, it is you. All right. There is little to do here. I am going to wrap it up. I don't see any point in wasting our time here. So tomorrow we'll come back. Let's see, get the big head on here. Tomorrow we'll have a fun pack show. I will have part of our Zero DTE course to go over with you. If you're interested in learning how to become a professional trader, becoming an independent, consistently profitable trader, go down to the link below and 0-dte.com/try. Give it a 4-week try and see what we're all about. I know that a lot of you've been searching for a long time, jumping from service to service, from strategy to strategy, or from indicator to indicator, wondering, are you finally going to find the thing that will make you riches? First of all, let me tell you, if you're doing that, you're going about it all the wrong way. Because trying all these different things, you're never giving yourself a chance to actually settle into a process that actually works. And that's what we do here. We'll get you into a process that actually works, show you a strategy and a methodology that's simple. However, it's nuanced. It's like one of those things. You can get into it, understand it very quickly, start implementing it, but then it takes a lifetime to master. Just the way everything good in life should be. We'll teach you how to develop that process. We'll coach you. We'll mentor you. We'll keep you accountable to it. And after some period of time, you'll be able to look back and say, wow, I did that. I did that. I am now consistently profitable. I know how to go out there, and you'll own your own IP. You'll own your own intellectual capital and property. Your trading method will be yours. It won't be mine that I gave to you, because we teach people, like I said, to be independent, professional, consistently profitable traders. That's what you will be. And volatility continues to drop. So that means the market is moving up. No, just stuck right in the middle. Tesla's moving up. Oh, Tesla's going to break out. Tesla's going to break out. Look, if you're out there, give this video a thumbs up. We've got a lot of great things coming down the pipe, or the pike. And we'll get into our strategy. We'll get into the methodology. Tomorrow we'll talk about, let's talk about asymmetry tomorrow. And then later this week, we'll talk about some of the nuances of the strategy. We'll look at the differences between the butterfly and then the classical strategy, and which is best to deploy in what type of market. So if we're going into a low volatility market and we're going to start, I don't know, maybe this is the beginning of a rally. Who knows? If it is, then we're going to want to employ a different type of strategy. Not different from our point of view, but the right strategy for that type of market. But that volatility dropping is going to impact the way you trade dramatically. Will an iron condor work for you? No friggin' way. An iron condor at the money with 5 or 7 delta spreads is not going to work for you. That's a losing proposition. Come over to this side. We'll teach you how to become an asymmetric trader, looking for asymmetric returns, tiny risk, low drawdowns, big potential returns, and then do that consistently. And then learn a process for improving yourself every cycle that you go through. All right. That's it for today. I want to thank you very much for showing up. We'll, that definitely deserves a thumbs up. Come on, give it up. And see you tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have a trade on and we'll talk about the strategy. Take care. Peace to you all. Have a good one. And now time for the music.